recognizing the role of youth in shaping our communities and future. This year's theme, Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond, highlights how young people are making a tangible difference through grassroots initiatives, digital innovation, and strategic partnerships. So, what is the purpose of this virtual summit today? So, the summit exists because local youths are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are change makers today. Around the world, young people are driving solutions in education, climate action, technology, entrepreneurship, and civic engagement. Our goal is to spotlight their voices, share their journeys, and inspire others to take action in their own communities. So thank you everyone for joining. So the objectives throughout this session, we aim to showcase innovative projects and stories from youths who are advancing the SDGs, create a platform for dialogue between youth leaders, partners, and community members, encourage encourage collaboration and resource sharing across borders, and inspire participants to turn their ideas into action, no matter how big or small. So with that, let's get right into the program. Firstly, we're going to be talking about the Youth Creative Challenge. So we'll be hearing from some of our Youth Creative Challenge winners. Then we'll go on with the panel discussion with incredible young leaders from different parts of the continent. I'm really excited about that, and I hope you all are too. So each voice you hear today is proof that local action can spark global change. All right, let's get started. So about the winners of the Youth Creative Challenge for the International Youth Day 2025. So about the challenge, this challenge invited young people from across Africa to express their creativity and leadership through essays, poems, songs, spoken word, and videos, all centered on this year's theme, local youth actions for the SDGs and beyond. We received outstanding entries from across the continent and cut across 10 different countries. And today we are proud to recognize the 10 selected by our review team. These incredible young people will each receive a certificate of recognition, and their work will be showcased on our platforms over the coming week. So from those remarkable top 10 entries, our panel of judges selected the top 3 winners, the highest scoring submissions across all categories. These winners not only stood out for the quality of their work, but for the clarity of their ideas and the inspiration they bring to others. So our top 3 winners, Olami, I think that's the next slide. So these are our runner-ups, and our top 3 winners are. Okay. In third place, we have Janet Adekun, and she wrote a poem titled The Spark We Share. In second place, we have in second place, we have Genevieve Ede. She wrote a poem about raising a generation of value-driven youths. Thank you to those who are applauding. Please, more applause. Thank you. Then in first place, we have Emmanuel Abola, who wrote a poem about titled We Will Rise. Thank you, everyone. So they wrote very, very amazing work, and we'll be having each of them read excerpts from their works. So Janet, are you on the call?
Yes, ma. I'm on, ma.
All right, please can you read an excerpt from your poem? Thank you.
Read a what?
You can just read the part of the poem. Folami, please can you take it back to this slide, so she can read accept. Thank you. So can you just kindly read that?
Okay, said we are not just voices in the crowd, but echoes rising firm and loud. Youth revision, the art that care, lighting flames from the spark that we share. Shall I move on?
Yes, please.
So we speak, we act, we rise as one, not waiting for permission done. In every town, in
Every
every
town, every
we plant our
we plant.
hopes beneath our feet. We build with words, with hands, with hearts, creating change through every part. From simple ideas to leading teams, we carry lights, we carry dreams.
All right, that's amazing. Thank you very much. So, I have a question for you. This poem you wrote is deeply inspiring, and what message would you like other young people to take away from your story and creative contribution? Did you get that question, Janet?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. The network was breaking.
All right, sorry about that. I was saying your work is deeply inspiring, and what message would you like other young people to take away from the poem and your creative contribution?
Okay, to that, it was really an inspiring thoughts about it because when I saw the list, like I just wonder like, okay, yes, what do the youth need? Like what do we need to focus more on? And I decided to just sit down like the spark, the spark we share. Meaning you are not just passive observers. They are powerful voices of change. And the poem emphasizes on unity and hope that as a young person, you are not just beyond young person. Like we still have more face. Like people should not just look at us like, okay, yes, because he's a poor person, he does not have a future, because he's rich, he only has the right to talk. So just giving an emphasis of like unity and hope and giving contribution to every young people that are present. So that's
Right, thank you very much. That's very inspiring and insightful. Thank you for sharing your creative contribution with us.
thank you, ma'am.
So, yes, Genevieve, is Genevieve on the call? Is Genevieve on the call? All right, I think I'll give it a minute, then I'll read the excerpts myself. All right, I think I'll read it for myself. So, Genevieve wrote an essay, which is my 21-day challenge for change, raising a generation of value-driven youths. She wrote, as a young person living in Nigeria, I've seen both the potential and challenges facing our generation. Many of us are passionate, talented, and full of dreams, but I've also seen how distractions, fear, lack of self worth, and societal pressures can hold us back. One key lesson I've learned is that to succeed in life and impact the world, you must build value within yourself. That's why I'm launching the Value Driven Youth Challenge, a 21-day self development journey to help young people grow, become valuable, and live with purpose. Why this challenge? I believe that when you build yourself, you attract people of value, open doors of opportunity, and become a person of excellence and success. And when many young people take the same path of growth, society becomes more peaceful, innovative, and impactful. If the youths are busy building themselves, developing their talents, and working in purpose, there will be less crisis, more creativity, and stronger communities. So yes, That's that's from Genevieve, who is in second place, and our winner is Emmanuel. Okay, is Emmanuel on the call?
Yes, please. I'm available. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you kindly read your accepts in the slide?
Well, should I read just part of it or the whole poem?
You can read just part of it.
Okay. Probably you could scroll down. I would like to read the part that has "We are the pulse beneath cracked pavements." So I think it's in the next stanza.
Um, okay, that's actually not the slide, but you can just read it
Oh, okay.
from.
All right. It's fine. Well, I remember writing and it has the points that we are the pulse beneath cracked pavements, the rising hymn in restless lamps, the echo that refused to be buried. Beneath the rubble of weight your turn. They say too young, too loud, too wild, but we reply too necessary. So that excerpt stood most for me out of the whole stanzas that I wrote.
Can you please kindly tell us why it stood out
Mm.
to you?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, so I believe if there's one thing that every young person can take away, it's this that your voice is not an afterthought and it's the spark. And too often, the world tells us to wait for permission, to turn ourselves down to fit into to the molds that is carved before us by our leaders. But then we all know that, change has never come from waiting in line. It has always come from, from those who dare to step forward. So I wrote the poem. It's not just my story to say, but it's a shared heartbeat. I believe we all have a voice, and so the poem is just a reminder that even from forgotten villages, and crowded city streets, from all over Africa and in the diaspora, whatever condition and of studies, every candlelit classrooms, and whatever kind of uniforms that students are putting on, wherever condition that they are going through, we always carry within us, a power that is both, ancient and urgent. And we all must strive forward to make efforts to make it work. And we don't have to sit down, on our talents and our skills and whatever we have got. So I just want young people to know that leadership, change, and impact, is not just defined by age, nor titles, or even thrones. So it's defined by, our courage to create and to connect and to fiercely face the world we are living in. So whether our tools is kind of music, let's say chord or community action, I believe we are all enough to begin. So the poem is just to provoke us to start immediately and not wait for our time. So thank you for making me or I'm so proud that I came in the first place, and congratulations to all who dared to submit in, and I believe we all did our best. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel. That was very insightful and very inspiring. So let's take the winners once again from the runner-ups, so can all see them. All right, so we have Brenda Lamoureux. She wrote on Epignosis, Our True Inheritance. Then we also have Gabriel Abrogri. He wrote on Seeds of Peace. James Basha. He wrote on prioritizing youth inclusion in the leadership councils. Then we have Nikeli Marrett. She wrote on If I Could Lead a Challenge in My Community, Cultures in Motion. We have Esther Okonkwo. She wrote on prioritizing youth inclusion in the leadership councils too. Then we have Avan Angadi. He wrote a youth creative poem. We have Kadeya Kumar. He wrote on what role do youth play in shaping a peaceful world. Then our three winners. So yes, thank you very much, everyone. So we'll be going on to the main event. But firstly, congratulations once again to all our winners. Each of you will be part of our upcoming skills development workshop. And Emmanuel, since you have already completed the program, you have the opportunity to nominate another young person to take part. So further details on that will be shared with you soon. So we also want to remind everyone that all top 10 entries will be featured across our platforms over the coming days, and certificates will be issued to each of you. So yes, getting onto the panel discussion, which will focus on how local youth are shaping progress on the sustainable development goals and beyond. We'll be exploring the role of digital innovation and the kind of partnerships that truly make a difference in advancing inclusive and sustainable development. Our panelists today bring unique experiences from different parts of the world, and they'll be sharing stories, lessons, and ideas that can inspire and equip other young change makers. So before we dive in and begin, let's meet our panelists. We have Favor Oshikonoya from Nigeria. She's the founder of Own a Book Today, and she's a literacy advocate. Then we have Azan Mustafa from Tanzania. He's a project coordinator who works on building inclusive spaces for youth empowerment. Then we have Andrian Indebu from Kenya. She's the founder of Uwezo Ustawi Foundation. So we are delighted to have you all here with us today. And thank you for agreeing to speak with us. So to begin, I'd like to ask all our panelists this general question. That is, how are local youth shaping progress on the SDGs and beyond through digital innovation? And what kind of partnerships truly make a difference in advancing inclusive and sustainable development? So we'll hear brief thoughts from each of you before moving into more focused questions. Favor, can you kindly go first and answer the general question?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Radia. Okay, so my name is
Yes.
Favor. I'm the founder of On a Book Today. So the question was, sorry, can you repeat the question again? Yeah, thank you.
Question is, how are local youth shaping progress on the SDGs and beyond through digital innovation? And what kinds of partnerships truly make a difference in advancing inclusive and sustainable development?
Okay, thank you. So, majorly, we see local youths doing shaping the initiative, shaping the culture through digital means. When I say digital means, I mean most of the time, whenever you go on social media, you go on your digital platform, you see young people doing a lot of things. And how is this possible? How are they shaping it? They're shaping it through personal development. I mean, when we have each and every youth, each and every young person, putting a lot of effort into their personal development, you will see some of them are writers, some of them are speakers, and some of them, have a passion for one or two things. And this leads them to, help solve problems, some relating to SDG and even beyond. We see problems relating to SDG and beyond, yeah. And with this, I think one of the ways partnership could be made is through the digital platform, right? Because we all know that in this Gen Z generation, in the Gen Z generation, to move forward and to move higher, you have to have a digital platform. You have to, be seen digitally, and you have to make sure that, you what's the word? Yeah, you have something where people can search in because let's take for example, you have an initiative of your own, right? And you don't have a digital platform for it, and someone somewhere wants to partner with you. I think one of the first thing we do in this generation is we search your name out, right? We search, let's see what this foundation is about, let's see what this initiative is about, and then we go online and then we search it out and then we see it because we are in the age of technology, digital, everything is now digitalized. So I believe that personal development and personal development is one of the ways that young people, local youth themselves, do this. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Favor. Thank you for taking us through the importance of having partnerships and how we can do that through digital platforms. Azan, please, do you want to go next and answer the general question?
Apologies, I'm quite having a technical problem today. Okay, hello everybody. I hope you're doing well today. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sure, thanks. Okay, so when we talk about like how digital spaces are being innovated nowadays, especially in our century, whereby I believe most of us youth tend to utilize tech and how we utilize digital platforms and different kind of uh, tech being made nowadays in our daily lives and how we utilize them every day. So from my own shared experiences, I've worked with like different NGOs as a project coordinator. And the current NGO that I currently work with, and I've dedicated myself volunteering for a while, it's how we're able to connect with different people from different around the globe in Africa and in the Western countries, and how you actually see youth today using digital tools to turn them into SDGs action, from connecting students with mentors online, from using social media for climate awareness and career awareness, for fighting for what is right, from social justice, and so on and so on. And what I love about this generation and compared to the generation in the past is that we've been given a privilege to use we've been given a privilege to use the digital space that we have right now. And how we utilize it really matters at the end of the day, because we've seen the negative impacts of tech and digital world, and we need to figure about also how we were able to protect ourselves and preserve our own values, especially in an African context and African Pan-Africanism united countries. So for me, even when you guys mentioned the question mentioned about partnership, I value a partnership whereby youth are being treated as co-creators, offering mentorship, showcasing their stories, and also a place whereby they can flourish and become the true version of self and believe in the impact they're trying to make. So I believe that real changes happens when innovation meets trust and young people are given some space to lead solutions for an inclusive and sustainable future. Yeah, that's my take.
Right, thank you very much, Azan. That's very insightful. Andrian, can you kindly go next and answer the general question?
Hi everybody and happy International Youth Day. So how are local youth shaping progress on SDGs? First, for the achievement of SDGs, we cannot neglect the role the youth is playing, especially grassroots organizations that are led by youth, because they're making more impact more than international organizations, because they are the people who are mobilizing resource mobilize are doing resource mobilization at the grassroots levels. There are also the people who are creating community awareness. in regards to various issues, for example, climate change and things that are affecting climate change and how we can mitigate climate change. And we cannot miss to have this conversation without including the digital space, because we are seeing young people coming up with digital innovations to help achieve the SDGs. And one of the solutions that comes to mind is a solution known as MC2. M and then C2 meaning forests. It's Swahili. And this solution is by a young person known as Joseph Ngoziru, a friend of mine. And it's a digital enabled solution where they're able to detect forest fires to preserve our forests. And you see, that is just but an example of a digital solution or innovation that is helping achieve SDG, because it's going to help us preserve our forests, which um, forests are important to mitigate climate change. And we cannot miss to also point out that the digital space is also important for creating awareness in various innovative ways that we are seeing the youth do that. Uh, yeah, so I feel that the young people or other stakeholders or major stakeholders should actually try and invest in the young people more, and not just try to to tick up a list. For example, we see some certain organizations include the youth in conversations just to be seen that they're including the youth, but not really including them, not really giving them capacity or the ability to continue leading the change at the grassroots levels.
All right, thank you very much, Andrea. To recap, she took us on the importance of using the digital space to create awareness and make partnerships, and the importance of actually including youths in these conversations and carrying them along too. So to go ahead with the more focused panel questions, Falami, please can I have the slides back on? Thank you. So my first question is for Favor, and that is, how are digital platforms enabling young people to connect, share ideas, and collaborate across borders for the SDGs?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Radia. I hope everybody did good. Yeah. So digital platform, has helped us a lot. I mean, we the youth, right? I think one of the biggest flex of this generation is the fact that we have more communication. I mean, there are lesser barriers to communication. I mean, this is a call now, and we have people from different parts of the world, people from all over the globe, tuned into this call, right? So I think one of the biggest flex, one of the biggest flex of this generation is the fact that we have low barriers to communication, right? And so with this, we have more young people in.
Sorry, Favor, you're breaking a little bit. I can't hear you really well. Let's give her a minute to stabilize her network. All right, while we're waiting for Favor, let's move on to Azan. Azan, the question I have for you is, what are some of the biggest challenges youth face in assessing decision-making spaces, and how can these barriers be removed?
Can I ask how long do I have to answer this? Because it's quite an interesting question. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
no, go ahead, continue,
Sure.
please.
Thanks. So from my own experiences working with NGOs for the past 2 years right now, currently I'm actually 19 years old, and I've started volunteering since I was 17. And since until right now, it's almost been like 2 years right now, I've seen that decision-making spaces exist, but accessing them is the real challenge. From opportunities, fellowships, and programs are available, but too often they favor those with more resources, stronger networks, or longer resumes per se. So, in many Pan African contexts, youth under 25 like myself are often overlooked with bias toward older people or more experienced voices. I remember last year when I had the privilege to attend one of the trainings for Yali Young African Leadership Initiative programs. I was the youngest in my cohort. I was just literally 18 years old when I attended that amazing fellowship program. And despite my age, I had years of volunteering, community service, and youth advocacy behind me. And I remember even one of the participants asked me, "Why are you here at your age?" So my direct answers were really that simple. Because youth inclusivity shouldn't just be based on age, education levels, or titles. It should be about our will, passion, and what we're able to do to make a difference in our life. So when you talk about the barriers, I've seen more like focus on basically nowadays how they're very much gatekeepered in opportunities, because when I'm actually been given a privilege to find different opportunities, and when I meet a person who has had much more experience than me, he didn't actually quite know that there's a space include. So there's very much gatekeeping on for opportunities for this already, which are established circles. um, Limited visibility for grassroots work being done by younger youth. Like when I said before, when most of decision-making places or platforms, they tend to favor the ones with much more experiences, people above 25, and people with much more work experience, education background, and so on and so on. So we need to create a society and a community whereby our age doesn't limit us. We're able to make a difference at very quite a young age. It's just the will and vision we have for our future programs and initiatives. Bias against less formally experienced candidates, even when they're driving change on the ground. So I seen like one of the poems here from one of our members, and I was very touched with the poem and how passionate he was when he was speaking about that. But most of the spaces are very quite biased for people with with much more with less experiences. And as myself as an example, I've done a lot of things, but I usually don't get many opportunities because of my age or education background. So that's are the barriers that I would like to align for today. But when we talk about how do we tear down these barriers or how do we solve the solutions like this, for decision makers as ourselves in here in this platform, we should shift the criteria for involvement. Like when we're actually pitching for something, and funders just tend to favor people who prioritize their story, mission, and impact, not just the credential. So when you're being asked a question, what's your story? What is the problem you're trying to solve? And how does it align with your values and mission that you're trying to make? And also, nowadays, as I said before, living in a digital revolved world, and platforms like Instagram, social media, LinkedIn, they need to be very utilized in these spaces because those were the spaces whereby most of the funders, programs, networks are being made. So as us youth, we need to be very associated with opportunities like that. And it's very much more easy accessible than in the past. We've been given the privilege to use this digital space, and then we should literally utilize it very well. Build a portfolio of your projects. It doesn't mean that you always have to be showcasing your face in social media or maybe making a different posting this and this and that. At least if you have a very aligned projects that you've done, accomplishment that you've made, you're allowed to showcase and you're allowed to tell your story at the end of the day. Network intentionally with organization that value youth voices. Well, I've been given the privilege of networking or attending international events in Ethiopia, African Union, Kenya, and stuff. They don't want you just focusing on, hey, what do you want from us? But how you build a relationship with that mentor or that funder or a person willingly to give you a chance really matters, because at the end of the day, it's the human connection that you have with people like that. And they value that a lot. And also, lastly, be humble and keep learning every day. When I tell you, being given this privilege to have internet resources and different opportunities online and social media, we should be definitely utilizing it. Learn as much as the little seconds of time we might have, because I believe that most of us are very piled up with work, college, and stuff. But those 2 minutes that you spare for learning something new will actually make a difference for you one day. So open your skills, open doors to different people, and be your true, authentic self, because that actually matters at the end of the day. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That was such an insightful and interesting answer. So to recap, we talked about the barriers of gatekeeping opportunities, limited visibility of grassroots work, bias against people with less experience. And to break down these barriers, you talked about shifting the criteria of involvement, utilization of digital platforms, showcasing your projects, telling your story, networking intentionally, and always be ready to learn. So thank you very much, Azan. Favor, are you back on the call?
Oh yes, I am. So I had a little bit of network, issue.
All right, no problem. Sorry about that. So, your question was, how are digital platforms enabling young people to connect, share ideas, and collaborate across borders for the SDGs?
Okay. I think before I got cut off, I was talking about the fact that the biggest flex for the Gen Z generation is that we have um low communication barrier. I mean, we can communicate effortlessly through the globe. And I think with this, we can, join hands together to collaborate ideas. Okay, so I would say this from personal story. My mentors, my early mentors, I didn't get to meet them physically. I didn't get to meet them. I think I met them as the year goes by. I remember my first mentor, Florence Adeleke. I met I think that was like after 2 years, 3 years after that. We only, it was majorly through messaging app, WhatsApp. We're able to like connect and get to that part. Even my partnership when my organization started, one of the main things that pushed us was collaboration with organization that I've never met the founder. I don't even know. I've never met the founder, but the online platform, the fact that people online are, you can go there, you can check their work and everything. So I think that was what, made it more possible for a collaboration and a partnership. Yes. Also, another thing is showcasing yourself. Yes, the online platform gives you that, leverage. It gives you the platform. It gives you the podium to just showcase yourself. Let's see what you have. Let's see the solution you're making. Let's see. It's more like I want to know you. It's more like you getting to connect your emotion with other people, sharing stories that connects with the people around. And when you connect stories and you get people emotion and people are like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's more easier for you to scale even in the social, because it's a especially the messaging app. It's more like you need to connect with them. You need to connect with them. You need to connect with people around. Yes, and I'll talk about last part, partnership. It's more easier for us, especially we young people, to partner. Because you see, most of these founders are not even like old people or old people. Most of these founders are youths like you, like me. And it's easy to come up, oh, I have this, and oh, this is what I've done, and this is what I aim to do. You could share files and slides online through digital means. You don't really have to like see each other and get like, okay, this is this person. Oh, and we've known. You just need to let's just show your past work and everything, and it gets easier. I think social media has given us a platform where we get to do things quicker, faster, without much energy, without wasting time. And I think that is one of the biggest flaws for agency. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Favor. That was a very inspiring answer, and you really answered the question. So I think to recap, I'll just say your key points, the key things you mentioned was the fact that our generation doesn't have a communication barrier. We find it very easy to communicate, and especially with the use of the digital technology, it's easy for us to communicate with someone we've never even met. So also the fact that we have to showcase ourselves, tell our stories, and also finding partnerships through the proper utilization of these platforms. So if we've been following, I think we can see a pattern in the answers of our panelists. The same things keep on coming up, and that is the use of digital technology, showcasing ourselves, telling our stories, properly utilizing the platforms that digital technology has given us. So thank you very much, Favor. Going on to Adrian. My question for you is, what advice would you give to youths looking to turn ideas into action with limited resources? Thank you.
Um, you start where you are and you start with what you have. Um, I'm going to tell you a story. I always like referencing to the Bible. When Moses was sent to remove the Israelites out of exile, and he gave all these excuses to God, and God asked him, "What do you have on your hand?" And it was a stick. So I know circumstances are different, but um, if you look around, there's always something you can use to your advantage. Be it maybe you have good networks, but also one thing I need to tell you is you need to also get yourself out there. One thing that has seemed to work for me in terms of even expanding my network is going out for events. I was very
Um, I think she has a problem with a network. Let's give her a minute or two to try to get it in order. Thank you. All right, while we wait for Adrian to be back. If you have any questions, you can kindly drop it in the chat box. Thank you. So please, everyone should drop their questions in the chat box.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I'm sorry, it just dropped off. Yeah, internet issues.
No problem.
So I was saying that one, you need to network, and one of the ways to network is through events. Um be very resilient in joining event programs. For example, startup programs, they help you develop your innovative ideas further, and also maybe connect you to some will connect you to uh prospective funders. Yeah, so first use what you have, then get yourself out there through events and networking, and join programs that will help you develop your ideas, and also interact with other innovators and change makers.
All right, thank you very much, Andrea. And I think what really stood out to me about your answer is the fact that we should start where we are with what we have, because I've even realized personally by myself is that if you are waiting for you to have everything, if you are waiting to maybe if this and this happens, I'm going to start, oh no, by next year I should be able to start, I will have this, I will have this, you realize that you will actually never start. So start now, do it afraid, do it scared, and you see that with no time you will get to where you want to be. So thank you very much, Adrian. Thank you. That was very insightful. So to continue to the question and answer, I think I can see a question in the chat box. So Basha James asked, my questions is that as the young people of Africa do face challenges in being involved in the decision-making panels, what is the best strategy to voice our concerns directly to the leadership of our countries? Azan, would you like to take that question?
Sure, definitely. So I really love the past speaker just talked about being networking with the people, going out to spaces where opportunities like this really matter. And I really resonate with that because if it wasn't for my willingness to network with people at the end of the day and different leaders, representatives, ambassadors, I would have been given the same privilege right now. So let me answer the question of Juma, if I'm mistaken. Yeah. Okay. Based in our own experiences with our own African leaders and government, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But we're seeing a lot of changes being done by really great political leaders in the past and in the present right now, compared to back then per se. But at the end of the day, they tend to value. Sorry, my brother's here. They tend to value like the stories that we tend to share, and also as the impact that we're trying to make. Doing a work publicly really matters at the end of the day. I understand that most of us are not we don't usually like to put ourselves out there, and sure, I resonate with that. But at the end of the day, if you have a mission for something, a vision, you shouldn't be able to step out, showcase your story in news, in platforms that actually will give you a privilege like this. And sometimes they might reject you, but never give up. Always stand for your rights and the things that you want to advocate for and showcase for. And leaders are more likely to listen when we bring them real examples of change we've made than, like, if I'm going to be for reals, they wouldn't like to just hear a story or something that just came up in the last minute and think that, hey, if this might work out, let me just go take out this idea or startup to them. Even most funders tend to fund projects that you have already made impact with the resources that you have. So if you want them at the end of the day to back your idea or your innovative mission, showcase your evidence, showcase that you're already making a difference right now, and what are the approaches that you're trying to do to make a difference, and not going against them. Because at the end of the day, we might build something that the government might not entertain or might not support, but have a way of communicating with them at the end of the day to showcase that, hey, I want to build this for my community. I know they do not stand with your policies and regulations, but in some aspects, there might be a space for you guys to agree with me, and some of them are not. And that's also how we deal with our daily life. Not everybody's going to agree with your solution or a problem that you're trying to showcase. So at the end of the day, be strategic with how you approach leaders, but also show clarity. Not just we want change, but what change are we trying to make? Why does it matter? And how can it work in our current society and our leaders? And it's not always easy. Like, let me tell you something, I've been rejected in different programs. I've had the privilege, of course, of having different programs, different funding opportunities, but at the end of the day, not every opportunity is meant for you. There are many there that are going to come in your life, and you should be grateful for every opportunity that you've had until today, because even having a platform to be attending for this forum, it's quite a really amazing privilege. So always showcase what you can, and be very showcase your clarity and purpose on why you're trying to do this without going against them. But to say the truth, there's literally a lot of work. And as our leaders of ourselves, and I believe one day future political leaders in here in this webinar, I believe we can actually make a difference one day for our own society and future generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Azan. I hope that answers your question, Basha. Okay, before we move on to the next question, I have a question of my own. So, most of us here are from Africa, right? And we all know culture and respect is a big part of our lives here. And there's this stuff of like, oh, you are a child, you can't know more than your elders. There's that. We kind of have that culture here in Africa of how, because you're a child, sometimes you have to keep quiet and allow your elders to talk, or like you should not be seen speaking where elders are talking. So how do we navigate that kind of environment? Anyone can answer. Thank you.
Okay. I think I would answer that. Okay, to navigate that kind of environment, one of the things I would say is when you are in that kind of environment, don't fight it. I mean, it's don't fight it. I mean, they will come in with, oh, you shouldn't do this. No, you're too young. You're too. Don't fight it. But one thing I would always say is stick to what you want to do, and that is where your own grades come into the place. I mean, they would always talk, this is Africa. We are Africa, right? African parents would always be, oh, you're too young, you're stressing yourself. And they'll always come up with one kind of excuse or the other, but just stay on to it. to navigate it, I would just say it's to get to a point actually where they actually like believe in you more. But till that journey, till when you reach that journey, I would just say just it's just like an African thing, right? So you just need to just be cool with it. You just need to know how to accept it, but do not accept it. Accept it when they are saying it, but not for yourself. You need to continue. It might not be open. You might not do it open because you know you're going to face a lot of rejection and everything, but you need to keep working because Africans don't deal one idea. They don't deal on, oh, I want to do this. They deal with action, right? So you can balance it because yes and yes and yes. I would say I had that, when coming up, and my parents are always, are you sure this is you're supposed to be doing something like this? You're supposed to be doing probably like facing your room, and don't you think it's taking your time away? But for me, I knew this was what I wanted. I knew that this was something I was passionate about. This was something that was my own calling. So as time grew, I just didn't give them the full information of what and what was happening. But it got to a time when they like started seeing progress, and they're like, oh, this is nice. I see you're doing something great, and their friends actually like, oh, I saw your daughter, and this it actually kind of started giving them this kind of pride, and they're like, oh yes, I think I'm okay with it. So I would say for that period of time to where you get to in that would where they're okay with you doing whatever it is you're doing, I would just say just do it on your own. Keep the grit. Do not stop. Do not stop. Don't do it openly because they would always say they would always get this rejection. You'd always get this rejection, especially from people that they feel you're too much or they want to like you're stressing yourself and this kind of stuff. So for Africa, I would just say I'll just say just keep the grit. It might not be loud about it, but it will come to a point where you can't even keep it inside again, where it cannot be hidden. You would have to like see it, but you then do not stop, keep on. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Fiwa. That answered my question. Thank you. So we'll be taking one more question before we round up. So this question is from Gabriel Abrogri, which is what is the most effective way you believe young people of Africa can influence change? Can Adrian kindly answer that question?
Um, through collaboration. And when I talk about collaboration, I talk about collaboration with other young people and also older people because okay, one thing I have seen, especially in Kenya, is the young people, especially us Gen Z, thinking that because we feel like the older generation failed us, we don't need to work with them, but we really need them because they have a lot of experience and we have, we're also knowledgeable in some sense, but we also have what is it called? The energy to actually drive the change at community level. So we can't ignore the older people, and we also need to work with our fellow young people. Also, including digital innovations because we can never ignore technology. Tech is the future, is the present, and is the future.
All right, thank you very much, Adrian. Thank you. Um, So yeah, to close the summit up, thank you to our panelists for sharing your insights and to our audience for being part of this important conversation. Let's keep amplifying youth voices and turning ideas into action. Thank you once again to our amazing panelists for sharing such valuable insights and to everyone who joined us today for this year's International Youth Day celebration. Today, we've seen how youths across the world are leading change through creativity, innovation, and collaboration. From the showcase of our creative challenge winners to the rich discussion we've just had, it's clear that local actions truly do for global progress. A special congratulations to our top 10 creative challenge winners, with the highlights to our top three. whose work and voices we are privileged to feature today. Over the coming week, we'll continue to share their work across our platforms so that more people can be inspired by their impact. We invite you to stay connected with us for more opportunities and updates related to education, career growth, and youth development. Follow our social media channels to see highlights from today's event and to engage with our ongoing initiatives. Thank you, everyone. So you can see our social media handles on the screen. So kindly follow. We have more amazing events and webinars and programs like this where you can learn about various aspects, especially as youths. So kindly stay in touch and we'll also be in touch. So thank you, everyone. It was lovely moderating this session, and I hope we all learned a lot and we enjoyed listening to. So yeah, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Before we go, thank you so much, Rajela. We'll be having a group photo, just so that we could document. So if everyone could switch on their cameras, that would be lovely. Okay, I'm waiting for more cameras to come on before I take a general photo. I'll give about 30 seconds for that, and then we could take a group photograph. Okay, I will be taking a picture shortly. I'm still waiting for cameras to come on. I'm not seeing everyone's face.
Hello, my face is over there.
Okay, I see your face. All right. So I'll do two slides because I can see two slides from this meeting. So we'll just need to smile twice just so I could get everybody. So 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll be doing one more, so please don't be upset. I'll just do one more photograph. All right. And in three, two, okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'll hand over back to you, Radiala. Thank you.
Thank you too.
All right, thank you, everyone. We can start dropping of the call now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to us, to our
Thank you.
audience, and the
Yes.
organizers too. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Goodbye.
much. Bye. Native farming is very important, eh? Timothy? Hey, that is National Youth Forum. We had applied